Potential risks and benefits of artificial intelligence, also called AI, in terms of job displacement and economic impact. That is our topic for today. So today we are talking about artificial intelligence and its impact on job displacement, and also we'll talk about its economic impact. I welcome you to the Inter-University Debate, which is brought to you by Center for Constitutional Governance and Civic Space TV. I'm your moderator for this talk show. My name is Fancy Gender Lake. Today, joining me to discuss this very technical but also interesting topic, I have a panel of 3 gentlemen. These are 2 are familiar faces to the Inter-University Debate. They have been on this platform before. And we have 1 new face that we are welcoming to the Inter-University Debate. So let me introduce the panelists. I'll start with Mr. Ekodai Abel. Abel is a student at Kampala University, and he is pursuing a Bachelor of Computer Science, meaning this topic literally fits within he's the expert on this panel on that topic. Abel, you're welcome to the Inter-University Debate.
Thank you.
Okay, our second panelist is Mr. Magala Fred. Fred is a student pursuing Bachelor of Laws at IUIU, that is Islamic University in Uganda. Fred, you're welcome to the talk show.
Thank you.
Okay, our third panelist, who is the new face for today, we have Mr. Chiyinji Abdul. Abdul is also pursuing Bachelor of Laws at Islamic University in Uganda. You're welcome to the talk show.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we are discussing today this very interesting topic, artificial intelligence. And it's high time we talk about it due to the growth level of artificial intelligence. I was looking at statistics before I came for this show, and I looked at one produced by Statista. It's saying that the global AI market size is projected to reach 267 billion USD by 2027. So that is up from 27.23 billion in 2019. That is USD. So you can see the growth level of artificial intelligence. It's growing at a very fast rate, but also at the same time, it is projected that it is even going to grow faster, So let's talk about this and its impact, especially when it comes to job displacement, because many have argued that with the introduction of artificial intelligence, human capital is going to be replaced. So we are going to discuss different issues today. We are going to look at what do we understand by artificial intelligence to start with. We are going to have statistics worldwide. Where does it stand? And as Uganda, where do we stand in the picture? We might be discussing about artificial intelligence, but where does Uganda stand in that context? Then we are going to look at its impact. What is the impact of artificial intelligence, especially when it comes to the economic sector? Then with a country like Uganda with very high level of unemployment, especially youth unemployment, do we need artificial intelligence? That is something that the panel is going to argue today as well. Then how about the benefits? What are some of the benefits when it comes to artificial intelligence? Then socio-economic issues that we have as a country. What are some of the socio-economic issues that we have that probably artificial intelligence could provide solutions to? Because I know we face several issues as a developing country. Can artificial intelligence provide us with certain solutions to some of the problems that we have? Then how do we as a country benefit from artificial intelligence? As Uganda, how do we benefit from it? How do we profit from it? How do we take advantage of the different things that artificial intelligence comes with? Without going further into the merit of our discussion, let me kickstart it with you, Abel, being the technical wing on this panel today. So starting with you, give us a context. What is artificial intelligence in your own understanding? And probably also, what are some of the examples of artificial intelligence so that our viewers can be able to relate with what we are talking about?
Okay, thank you very much. Artificial intelligence, first and foremost, to most people, they believe it's something that is a threat, as to say. But literally, this is something that is coming to enhance. Maybe to bring you to a little bit of understanding of what is artificial intelligence is literally to, and in a simple way, this is the integration of human intelligence into machine systems. You would literally see a machine try to mimic what a human being would do to solve a problem in that situation. And I want to bring this, that artificial intelligence has not started in 2000. It literally started in 1956. Now, if it started in 1956, that tells you that what was the motive behind to start. There was a problem, even when there was a human capital. There was still a problem. There was still a problem that we needed to have a system that is developed regarding to the problems that human capital cannot have the efficiency. Ideally, we would look at also that artificial intelligence we are talking of, it has 4 types. It has 4 types. But so far, there are 2 types that are implemented. We have the reactive artificial intelligence. That literally is repetitive. For example, when you use Google, the more you keep on typing, searching all your preferred questions and answers, that falls in reactive. And that's where it will gather its data. And the next time you go back again to get your phone, by the time you start typing in a word, it will outlay the first search that you made. And then we also have another one, the low memory. Now, low memory it's there to mimic the real human being on how he would handle a problem. That is from the past and to the present. Now, at the end of the day, that is the intelligence, that artificial intelligence that we have to talk about so much, because it's been developed outwardly to reach at the market and solve a problem. At the end of the day, where does the question leave us? Why is artificial intelligence coming at this time? Yet we should appreciate that it has been there since 1956. If it has been there and now it is all over, which means this artificial intelligence is within us. I don't want us to go and think as a rocket science. First and foremost, we all have smartphones. If you have smartphones, there is what we call a natural processing language. For example, if someone sent me a message in Latin or in other language, because of the artificial intelligence system, it will be able to interpret for me that from the other language to the language that I understand, which means language barrier as a problem is being solved. That is as basic as that. I want to bring us so that we do not take our listeners to assume, what is this artificial intelligence? Is it that big? Then you also look at, most of you have the smart watches or the Apple watches. My colleague, I think, is having one. It runs in Siri. At the end of the day, it is able, when you set it, as you're jogging, it's able to detect the distance you've taken. It is able to detect your heartbeat rate. It is able to detect very many things. But what does that? It is that artificial intelligence system. Now, with the context of saying that this artificial intelligence system literally picks from the human the human understanding of brain into machine systems. At the end of the day, there is integration. But what it does, it has unlimited data, that it will go back and forth, it will predict, and it will also predict forward and also backward to determine the problem that it's faced with to solve it in that moment. As per the context of artificial intelligence, I wanted to bring it in that line so that people do not take it as rocket science. For a lame person to understand, I wouldn't wish to be that technical.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I think a lay person would understand that context perfectly well. So thank you, Abel, for breaking that down for us. So let me move to Fred. So Fred, Abel has given us a context and defined for us artificial intelligence and basically what it does. So as I earlier also noted, there is growth of artificial intelligence.
True.
Worldwide. So my question to you is what is the current status quo of artificial intelligence worldwide and as well as Uganda in terms of its growth?
Thank you, Madam Gender Fancy. When it comes to artificial intelligence, different countries and different continents will have a different kind of growth as regards enhancement in technology, or what we refer to as AI right now. Because we have developing countries developed, and also those ones that are amidst there, or underdeveloped countries as well. If you look at a country like China, it has embraced technology that much that right now, if you look at the percentage of people that are embracing AI is almost 78%. And almost 73% believe in it, and at least believe that AI can deliver what man cannot. And as well, it can make better, or it can deliver more efficiently than man can do. If we come back to Uganda, currently, the Independent carried out a survey, and a question was posed to different citizens about self-driving cars, because these self-driving cars are as a result of AI, or artificial intelligence. And depending on the survey, over 78% of Ugandans said that no, we cannot have belief in the self-driving cars. And they have reasons for that. So that shows the belief they have in artificial intelligence, and also questions the growth and the embracement of artificial intelligence in Uganda. 21% don't believe in that. They have no answer to that. However much, they also say at least artificial intelligence can be of a higher advantage. If you go to Kenya, at least 73% accept AI. That, you know what, it can do something, or it can be able to help us develop efficiently. If I might divert a little bit from the question posed to me and go into the economic sector vis-a-vis other sectors, in Africa, we are failing to embrace technology as regards artificial intelligence because first and foremost, we think it is a waste of money. That is one. And then two, we believe more in human resource more than embracing machines, because we have not been trained on how even to use them. But if you look at other developed countries, more so in their manufacturing industries, robots have been employed more than human labor as per now. They are even carrying on further research to make sure that everything is almost automated. I'll give an example of clocking systems here, because the examples of AI systems at LDC. I think before the bringing of the clocking systems, you would just write your name as attendance.
I think my time we used to write our
Yeah.
names.
But currently, you have to just clock in, as in to show that you are present for the lecture. And even before leaving, you clock out. So it is solving an issue. Which issue? using papers, everyone writing, you know. The moment you clock in like this, data is corrected that Magala has attended this lecture. The moment you clock out, it is evidence to show that indeed he completed the lecture and he attended ably well. So we shall be able to compute that you attended at least 70% of the lectures and you are eligible to sit for the examination. Are you seeing how the machine or how AI systems are trying to enhance efficiency as regards what man can do? Leave alone that, let us go to the economy or international trade. As regards manufacturing, if you're to embrace AI and bring in the robots, you'll find that it is easy to enhance your productivity and produce more products than what people would do. If you look at Coca-Cola right now, we don't have people who wash bottles, we don't have people who fill in the soda, I don't have people who, you know, who put on the cups, no? It is all machine. That is all AI. And you find out that in a day, some good quantity of products would be out and out on the market as well. But what is the impact on the people that used to do the same? That is the
Exactly.
question
I
we
think
have.
that is the biggest question to
True.
be argued here. And earlier, before we even started the show, I had already argued about it with Abel a little bit. Okay. So yes, Fred, you still have the floor. Are you probably
Yes.
done? Okay.
If now we go back into the education system, how is AI helping us in the education system? Just giving a bit of it. If you look at Makerere, it has what we call Mowere, where they can post the work, you research, and then you also have to upload the research, and the lecturer can access the same, even other students. Different universities have portals. Now, Islamic University in Uganda has the ERP portal, where you even go attend digital classes. If there is a test, they do online tests for law students. You go download your test, do your test, and upload it in the desired time. Now, that all shows integration. That at first you would go, you need to pin up a timetable that is typed. Students come, converge, and look to the time at the timetable. Then they will need to know their rooms, where are they going to sit, and where they're entering. You have to check: does everyone have the examination card? Have they paid that short amount before they do the tests? But right now, because there is a system, you don't need that. The system, before you pay desired amount, it won't register you. And when you're not registered, you won't access the test. And when you don't download the test and do it, you cannot be able to upload it. When the time is done, you cannot upload it. Now, this is all saving time. It is easing time of a lecturer and an examination coordinator. Because preferably, Magala doing a test will need to, first of all, manage his own time. Two, he has to make sure that before the test date, he has paid that amount in order to be able to register. And as well, the lecturer, as you're in the test week, his only duty will be to upload the test, and he will go to his farm. And he will only come back to mark the test after you have uploaded. Therefore, I can say the status quo right now is that however much Africans or Uganda, we have not yet embraced AI that much, there is need for it. And we are going to forcefully be able to apply it and embrace it. In the developed countries, it is embraced widely because we have smart homes there, meaning you won't need a maid. We have different smart TVs that I won't need even to move away from where I'm seated to change the channel. You know, I've so far seen developments where you just clap and the light goes off. So it is all fun in recreation, education sector, you know, social life. AI cuts across, and trust me, on the growing rate of innovation with time, we shall need to embrace it, like it or not, within even the African states, the underdeveloped and the developed countries, even those ones that are in the median level. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Fred. Let me move to Abdul. I know this has also come out already from the other previous two panelists, but what are some of the other reasons for introduction of AI?
Okay. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I am really glad to be part of this. And I think I am one of the best persons that must be on this panel because I've conducted a research topic about AI before.
Oh, okay.
Now, first things first, for artificial intelligence, we must first appreciate, just like my good brother said, Echodu, that Echodei, that surely there are things that have now become inevitable in our society to live with, regardless of whether you like it or not. In Uganda, according to the statistics, majority of the people are looking at artificial intelligence as being more problematic. Of course, it will have to enter into the aspects of the job opportunities. It will have to touch the aspect of the wellness and economically of the people of Uganda. That is literally when you look at, for example, the work that would have been performed by 100 persons or 100 Ugandans would have been undertaken by a single machine. But I want us to look at first and foremost the benefits and the potential of us having the AI in our society. Literally, today, artificial intelligence has been important not only in the economic sphere. It has been important in the health. It has been important in the education sector. It has been important even in our domestic and day-to-day life. Look at a scenario where we had COVID-19. How would people get the knowledge? How would people access the information from their different schools and the respective authorities, that is in the academia? So we must embrace this because it has not come today, just like a brother said, it started way back in 1956. But the levels at which we are appreciating artificial intelligence differ. So in Uganda, if I am to be more particular, artificial intelligence and the level to which people are appreciating artificial intelligence is very slow, given the fact that, first and foremost, they do not know more, or even the masses are not given such information. They are not aware of how this works. Majority of the people think are using Google, using, for example, the ATM machines and various others is only limited to that. But there are scenarios where now the Western world has invented a number of machines, inclusive of self-driven motor vehicles. Now, when we look at such inventions that are crossing borders now to states that are developing like Uganda, we shall have now, first and foremost, to let these people appreciate, because I think few of them would accept to adapt to situations where someone can sit and have confidence in a car that is self-driven. And legally, if I am to go to the legal perspective, we look at the notion and the concept of personality, legal personality. We have the individual, we have the corporate. Now we are going to grapple with the aspect of where does artificial intelligence lies. Because first and foremost, we must be cognizant of the fact that we have a legal principle that qui facit per aliam facit per se. He who acts through another acts for himself. So who is going to be acting through the artificial intelligence in scenarios where someone has not ordered a given machine and it has what? It has, for example...
I can't wait to read a judgment on that
So
when it comes out of court.
So we are going to face a scenario where judges, not even the judges themselves, even the advocates in courts, are grappling with interpretation in scenarios where an artificial intelligence machine has acted, but not with the commands of the boss. So who is going to be liable in such instances? So as we accept or as we adapt to the usage, or we harmonize to the introduction of the extreme artificial intelligence, and I use the word extreme in the loose sense, we must also be aware that surely there are shortfalls that will have to come with this unless we have done so much awareness to the public on how this must be handled. Then maybe third, if I am to consider this, the benefits. Today, we are having a population that if there is no artificial intelligence in place, and most especially the corporate class, if you do not have the artificial intelligence in place, I doubt whether we can have a service as delivered to the public. For example, systems. There is no institution of the government of Uganda or even any other private entity that has no such artificial intelligence mechanisms in place. So today, as we look at the benefits of artificial intelligence, the potential of it, first and foremost, and what we must even put out of our minds and thoughts is the non-existence of AI in this era. It must exist, whether we like it or not. But now the question that would get back to us is how are we harmonizing the existence of or the introduction of the artificial intelligence within our society and within our institutions. Look at Makerere University of recent. I am giving this because it is one of the examples that really went so viral when I think the ivory tower caught fire. With the help of artificial intelligence, we wouldn't have lost such a valuable document. We would have storage. We would have such documents being kept well and safe with the use of artificial intelligence. It is today that universities have adapted to what the Western world has already adapted to, the usage of the online studies and the online classes and all that. So for me, and in my own perspective, I would consider that artificial intelligence is one of the key aspects and theories actually that we cannot live without in this era. Lastly, as I conclude about this, I would urge the stakeholders, because however argumentative discussions may be, without involving the stakeholders in taking on the mantle, in making awareness of this to the public, both of course financially and physical assistance and so on, we would not have these debates and as anything. So I would urge the stakeholders to at least pay keen attention to this, because it is a necessary aspect that we must look at, and they shouldn't take it for granted. Just like they look at other aspects, for example, the aspects of the aspects of our health, the aspects of security, the aspects of, we must also find a way of harmonizing and bringing artificial intelligence into our programs. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Abdul. Yes, Abdul, as you come in, I also have a question for you. The panel has come up with and embraced the fact that Uganda has been a little bit slow in the development of artificial intelligence. So something also came on my mind. I was having a discussion with someone who told me, you see, in Rwanda, when you're driving and the lights are red and you just drive through, you will receive a ticket.
Then.
In Uganda, you'll drive through. If a police officer is not there to stop you, nothing is going to happen. So that makes me ask this question. What are some of the problems that Uganda has that can be resolved using artificial intelligence before we delve into the topic of job replacement?
Okay, thank you very much. I want to pick some points my brothers have mentioned. I like the fact that that there are some key points that people have brought on board, and that is to do with the event of COVID. We all witnessed the machines taking up the event of the health workers, who literally also kept away little from the pandemic because it was that so contagious. I want to pick what South Korea rather, and China did. We literally saw robots taking medication to patients. That was all AI. We saw online marketing. The e-commerce went up because no one could go to the markets. But the difference in Uganda, that you could buy these things, but still you'd interact with human. Whereas in Europe, you order your placement, someone who is in Amazon, which is not someone, it's a machine that has algorithms attached to the fact that someone has requested a given good to a specific point of time. It would act upon that. And you would see seamless movement of things. And then also my brothers talked of government. I want also to draw down in Uganda here. I want to appreciate all of us have national IDs. True. All of us have, not all of us, some people have driving permits or licenses. But if you ask yourself, how is quality assurance tested? It cannot be tested by human intervention. It can pass, what can pass the quality assurance in every system? It is AI, artificial intelligence. It will drop the duplicates in that process. It will drop the inconsistencies and it will block applications in this regard. That is all artificial intelligence. Then these people who come from Kampala, they're in Kampala, and literally they want to move from point X to point B. They're going to pick their phones, get to this app. They get a safe border. But if you interact, if any of you has a safe border app, what necessitates its operation? It is artificial intelligence. That it will inform you that border A by name is coming to pick you. First and foremost, your security is guaranteed. You know the person who's coming to pick you. You know how far. So everything, there are parameters that this artificial intelligence would address, depending, like I stated, that literally this system is depicting human intelligence that is into the system. The way you would enter your room, I am mentioning now in an algorithm, the way you'd come open your door, you'd have a thought, before I enter kitchen, should I first go in my bedroom or sitting room? That is how the system is now reasoning. The way you'd want to reason is the way the system would reason. But how does it reason? Because it is a machine, it will always depict what this person does. It will do a back and forth check, and then it will have the predictions. Then, as far as the legality is concerned, all of us have phones and all of us have apps. And you sign up for certain applications with your credentials. Now, before you go to Jumia or Amazon to buy, Amazon, which is, of course, enhanced by AI, it will know it is Ekodai Abel who is interacting with me. So literally, it has identified the person. In fact, if you place an order erroneously, there are steps you have to follow. Like I said, it is an algorithm. It is a step that is guided. If you reach a point and you feel, wow, I didn't need this, maybe I would have to think twice. If humanly speaking, if I picked food from the kitchen and I feel I cannot eat it, what will I do? I will, of course, take it back. That's what an AI will do for you, literally. Then in manufacturing, picking from my friend as well. Now, in this context, We've looked at Amazon. We've looked at
Jumia.
Elon Musk, Tesla. 85% in the assembling plant, it is AI. But what does it do? We could say yes, if that 85 was human capital or labor, they would be getting money. But we're also looking what health benefit is associated with a person carrying a ton of metal to fix. But all those things, they are being implemented and achieved by the AI system. That brings, let's not, if I cannot forget, CNN reported, that was a bit 2 years back. I may not quote the journalist, but they reported that by 2030, 40% of the world GDP would be achieved if AI is implemented effectively. Where does that leave us? That it is not about how much you put the people to work in different sectors that you will have the money. It is the production that will determine. But the ultimate question would be, how do we deal with the other people that are not benefiting from AI or that are being affected?
That are being replaced.
Literally.
By AI.
As we were not here, I was discussing with the host, the moderator. And I just want to give this as a simple solution. And I want to make people believe that AI is not a threat to human, but is a bigger solution to human. And is a bigger solution to Uganda. For example, we are all aware in Uganda that AI is at play. The only thing people don't know what AI literally means. They think it's a bigger machine they are going to interact with.
They think it's a robot.
They think it's a bigger robot. It has to be a robot that has to come to take up their slots. For example, we all know, I want to be very specific here. We all know that there are some jobs AI cannot come after. It cannot. There are some jobs they can't be affected. For example, we all know that a carpenter, AI system will not take carpentry from human.
But Abel, with where AI is going,
Everything can be taken.
is there anything that can't be taken over?
Like I
by
said,
AI?
Not really.
any AI is an algorithm. Any computer scientist there will understand an algorithm, which what it means. It is a step-by-step process that one person depicts to achieve a common task as faced with the problem. Now we all know, what algorithm would you design for someone to shape that table? What algorithm? Ideally, any computer science who would watch this will tell you,
Abel, the same one that was used to design self-driven cars.
Now,
you see, those are some of the questions that we
Now,
have. That's why some citizens sit and say, don't let computer scientists come and tell us they are not replacing us.
For the self-driven car, I want to make this, because Google has tried so much to bring it out, but the tests have failed. Tesla, because Tesla has the AI system, the automotive driverless system. Now, what it does, maybe to explain to people to understand, what this system does, the driver is, or she's in the car, literally. But in case this driver feels they cannot take on to control the steering, or whichever anything that happens to them, they will press the auto drive system, the AI system, the automobile drive system. They will press it. But what this system does, because it has two factors, it has the sensory bit of it, it has the cognition bit of it, 90 meters away, it will detect an accident if it's to happen. It is not literally putting off the driver. Or the car is not designed not having a steering. It is coming to enhance. Like I said, AI is coming to enhance. However, what AI is going to do, as I was discussing with the moderator, as I said, that of course we know there are some courses that will be affected at the end of the day.
is there any that will not be affected? Abel?
Absolutely.
Because just to give you a context, when ChatGPT just came in, we had a discussion as lawyers. You know, literally, we are supposed to be paid for legal advice.
Yes.
So the citizens are supposed to come and give us their legal problems. Now, why should somebody go to a lawyer when you can go and ask ChatGPT, how do I register a company resolution, for example? You know, and then ChatGPT will respond. What are the legal requirements, for example, to process certain documents, let's say passports and so forth. Now, earlier on, I also discussed with you, you were talking about somebody having a home, the lawyer having a home, an online office, where somebody can sit in their offices and probably ask questions, put their legal problems. Now, the question that would come there, if that happens, wouldn't a border be replaced, for example? Wouldn't an Uber driver be replaced? So those are some of the questions that the citizens, probably the ones who responded to Abdul's research, were thinking about. So how do we strike a balance?
Okay, one, we all know that without a lawyer, you cannot argue a case in court. We all know, unless I'm not privy to the fact that if you can argue a case without a lawyer in court.
So
Now,
they'll be restricted to the courtroom.
Now,
sort of.
You talked of a passport.
Yeah.
What AI has come to do, and that is in a passport system now, if I'm privy to what they have implemented, we have online application.
Yes, online applications.
Now,
Yes.
Online application, the Ministry of Internal Affairs, through Citizenship Department
Immigration.
and Immigration, they have brought service close to the people. I don't want to get to the nitty-gritties of what happens in between if you had a lawyer to get a passport. But it has simplified and eased the labor that this civilian or this other person, the lawyer, would face. I don't want to get the nitty-gritties there. And then the other thing is, what happens? You have an office. We discuss that. And I want to be very specific with the simplest example minimum. If I had an appointment with a medical practitioner, and at that very point of time, that medical practitioner is not able to respond to my request, should I be left to die? These are the possible solutions. And how do we deal with certain professions that I want to address? I am aware that people who have these professions that I would mention, for instance, we have counselors, we have lawyers. I'm not going to mention of medical practitioners. These two professions, the counselors and the lawyers, if I know she's my counsel, right? And she has an e-based system that is enhanced by AI. Imagine, let me bring a scenario. She's in court. She's arguing a case. And I really want to get to her by sending a message of a problem that I'm faced with, or someone is coming to evict me. How do I reach you? Must I drive from Gulu? Because you're my lawyer, I come to Kampala? I think no. I think no. But if you have a system at play, you have your e-office, I will be able to reach out to your chat box and give you, by the time you reach your chat box, you receive a notification on your phone. Now that is an integration of software and hardware. Because you've got this notification, you will be able to refer a certain clause within your e-system to me that you have to do this to avoid this. But remember, that service that I've gone for, I have paid for it. It takes a little bit a process for me to break this technical aspect of it. I'm trying to put it down so that we understand. But there is a solution for everything. As you people are faced with a threat, I think that is being so hypothetical in a situation that we are lacking the actualization and the facts of how AI will operate. Especially as perhaps I end, I want us to interest in Uganda. AI, how has it enhanced the education? How has it enhanced the health system? That you're going to talk about the CT scans. What is in between the CT scan? How has it enhanced the security in this country? So I think those who should be our parameters, but we know AI is within us. We live with it and we have it. Maybe the only thing is to tell Ugandans and the rest of the people that that thing you're using, it is supported by AI. That thing you're using, it is AI. Maybe we should tell people. But what we should not forget that AI, it is not a gigantic machine. These are simple things. Start with a watch my brother has here. It is as simple as that. He's able to detect that, oh, I've taken this distance. But literally, if you didn't have that, if you're not a great mathematician, would you have that? You wouldn't.
Okay, Abel, let's take a short break right from there, and we will come back with this panel discussing artificial intelligence and its economic impact and also its impact in the job market. See you after the break.
Digital rights are those human rights and legal rights that allow individuals to access, use, create and publish digital media or to access and use computers, other electronic devices and telecommunication networks. Digital rights include a right to freedom of expression, information and communication through technology, a right to privacy and data protection, a right to credit for personal works, a right to universal and equal digital access, a right to identity, a right to anonymity, a right to be forgotten, and a right for protection of minors, among others. The state's digital rights are frequently violated through various unfair actions, for example, blockage of websites and social networks, theft of credentials, unauthorized use of people's data for personal gain, privacy intrusion, online censorship, arrests and intimidation of online users, internet blockages, and the proliferation of laws and regulations that undermine the potential of technology to drive social, economic, and political development worldwide. It is hence every citizen's responsibility to respect rights of other digital users and to speak out or report to the responsible parties when one's rights are violated.
Welcome back from that short break. We are still with students from different universities. We are looking at artificial intelligence and its impact on the job market, as well as the economic impact that it creates. So before we took that short break, we were with Abel, and now let me bring Fred into the discussion again. So Fred, I'll just be straightforward with you.
Yes, please.
To pick up from where Abel stopped, there are two schools of thought.
Yes.
The Abels and the computer science, Abel and other computer scientists
And colleagues.
subscribe to the school of thought that artificial intelligence is simply coming in to enhance. Now, there are people who subscribe to the school of thought that artificial intelligence, the way it is being introduced and where it's going to replace human capital and people's jobs.
True.
So which school of thought do you subscribe to?
Thank you, Gender. I think Abe is far from reality. And being far from reality is not putting it in mind that AI is not just here to enhance, but it is a takeover. How is it a takeover? We have seen people already being displaced from their jobs. People being laid off because a system has been developed. Main thing is AI is a takeover. The human race or human labor is under attack. Why? Because the role or the duties that would have been done by over 10 people are now being done by one system. Earlier on, I was talking about internal affairs and looking at the passport procedure. earlier on, you would get your forms, take them to people that have to sign them, go pay to the bank straight. From the bank, then you take your documents in hand to the ministry responsible. Then they will be processed there and then by different people until your passport is out. How is it done currently? I just log on to their portal, put in my documents there, and then I will choose as to when I want my interview to be conducted. I will pay via mobile money, and it is all done smoothly like that. But the people that would have handled that manually are all now seated at home. Let us look at scenarios where it is an industry. And what is this industry dealing in? Maybe this industry is just assembling cars, but it is almost 80%, as he said, automated. Robots doing everything, the compilation and everything. The people that would have done that, where are they at that particular time? Aren't they replaced? Do you think we need to replace 100 people with one head of a computer scientist? Let us look at traffic officers. In developed countries would need a traffic officer at least on every junction to make sure that people don't overtake, people observe the rules. But right now we don't need them. In US or in China, you drive as you want. But by the time you violate any road, you'll find that you have over 20 tickets by the time you reach your destination. Why? Because the system doesn't need to know whether you had an emergency. You'll just appear on your system, or they would even just credit your account. They would just debit your account. Are you getting that, Abe? So my school is very simple. I believe in the school that AI is here to displace human labor with just a single person behind a system, behind a computer, behind something that would have been maybe done by a lot of people. And by displacing these people, what are they going to be doing? That's why in Uganda we are seeing very many ladies and gentlemen going into modern slavery. Into our countries to work as drivers, to work as maids, because the systems have replaced what they would have done. As you said, Abby, earlier on, degrees are no longer counting, because for a person who is dealing in now construction, we have tractors that can do the basement thing. You don't need now to stay around concrete. We have those, machines that do the same.
Even in agriculture, machines plant.
We have planters, we have harvesters, we have sprinklers. You get it? Now look, how many people would be doing the spraying? How many people would be doing the harvesting? All those people are now displaced. Where do you leave their well-being? Where will they get the money to educate their children? Where will they even get the money to buy your advanced systems into their homes? Are you trying to get what I'm saying?
Sure.
Let us go to the education sector. As per now, we have those classes, the online classes, where the lecturer will not even appear, but will play a video. How will a student be able to interface with the teacher or the lecturer to ask a question? It is a video playing. And after that, the student will have to do a test over that. Don't you think instead of enhancing at a given point, it is promoting laziness? I mean AI. Don't you think it is even displacing the brains that would have even implemented innovation in different fields of study and work, and just merely by laying them off? If there is something that is not going on well, and this machine indeed was programmed just to assemble, would it tell? I've seen scenarios in Uganda. First and foremost, let us look at the poverty rate. We are very poor. How many people will be even able to implement, to buy the systems and use them? Is the given status of Uganda able to accommodate AI? Let us look at our roads. How will you stop me from driving over the pavement, yet everywhere are potholes? You get it? It means that AI will not see that this is a pothole, but it will just bill me because I've violated the law by passing by the what? By the pavement. Are you getting, my brother? I leave alone that. Go to the agriculture sector, as we have looked at it as well. The sprinkler is programmed to sprinkle at a given specific time. But is it able to know that for today it has rained, I won't sprinkle? Well, I know innovation always goes on further every time.
Yeah, but let me ask you something there, Fred.
Yes, please.
So in a situation where AI has provided solutions to certain things,
Yes.
now when you take it away, there is a risk of having the long procedures that we used to have in the past. Because, for example, let's talk about for example, the URA.
Yes.
Let's just pick that as an example. When you, for example, don't file a return, when you're supposed to file a return, you're going to get a systems generated assessment sent to you. Now, in the past, the URA officers have to generate an assessment and look for you where you're hiding. People would be in trees, people who would be hiding, running away from these officers. So don't you think we will go back to the problems that we had, that AI in the first place has come to resolve?
First and foremost, I'm not away from the fact that AI is of great importance, and solving that kind of bureaucracy and the manual bit of it. But the question is, the people that would look for you to give you, to serve you, or that would look for you in order to make sure that you effect the payment of your return, where are they now?
Your issue is at what cost?
That is the question.
There is the cost of creating unemployment.
You get it?
Okay.
And leave alone that as well. You said there is a system when of course you don't file your returns, there is a system generated assessment. Yes. But are you also open to the fact that this system can be biased? Because there is Abe behind this system, and Abe knows very well Magala has not filed returns. So Abe can easily bias his own system because he has the logins and everything, and they will overcharge me, and on overcharging me, before even that money goes there, he will cut off his own.
Yeah, but you see, Fred, even in that scenario, then a physical assessment would be worst. A manual assessment would be worst, because this is generated by human beings.
I think we have something that we're not understanding, both of us, in common. As regards AI, there is someone set behind a computer doing roles that would have been done by 100 people, right? And we are saying that this person can as well misuse his own authority by using the computer and then bias the whole system. Because if there were very many a series of people handling different segments of the work, you never know that bias would not be there. But there is a person controlling the entire system. How sure are you that this person won't bias the system? A case at hand. There is a case of Centam with Airtel. The guy in conspiracy with the other few others had to corrupt the mobile money system, and they would send money to their desirable persons, and that money would be taken away. So your issue is, imagine, is your money secure with the AI?
So your issue is that the machines can, in just one switch,
be biased,
and it can cause loss to so many people at the same time. Okay.
Imagine a self-driving car, and all of a sudden the system gets an issue, and we have over 20 on the road. How many people would die just in that little time? Imagine in an automatic or in an automated operating theater, electricity goes off, pop, and we are operating a mother. Imagine a situation where it is a planter, And before you know, instead of beans, you put maize. How would you redo that? So, well, we have a lot of questions as regards AI and then the reality. As regards the displacement of people from their jobs, vis-a-vis handling the whole job, the whole of their work to one person seated behind a system.
Okay. Thank you, Fred. Before I bring Abel back, because I'm very sure Abel wants to do a comeback on those arguments, let me move to Abdu. So, Abdu, the two schools of thought, what do you think?
You know, it is interesting that a colleague from a field of computer science is believing that surely we must have AI in place, and various others believe that we must not have the AI because of certain reasons and risks. Artificial intelligence, whether you like it or not, is the way to go.
True.
And I do not want to repeat myself on this, because you will not do anything in this generation without a hand of artificial intelligence.
Yes.
However, I am not absolute in, of course, attaching myself to any of the schools. I am having an opinion that however much it is the way to go and it is inevitable for us to adapt to artificial intelligence, there are some shortfalls or shortcomings with the artificial intelligence. And these are the risks. Because I do not want us to keep a deaf ear about this. Because however much we need it in our day-to-day, of course, undertaking of services, doing tasks and all that, it has a number of risks that attach to it, and which risks are so fatal and dangerous to our community, given our culture, the societal setting, and various other reasons. You know, we must have such a discussion in a proper appreciation that Uganda is a developing country. And given the fact that it is a developing country, we must be cognizant still of the fact that as we are harmonizing or introducing the artificial intelligence in any of the fields that we intend to harmonize it to, we must also be cognizant that surely there are people that have been earning in such scenarios or in such instances where the artificial intelligence is being introduced. I'll start with the brief example of a gentleman who was in the papers, New Vision, I think last week, a tomato farmer. He was alleging that the brokers who picked the tomatoes from his place, that was Bushenyi, to Kampala, are of course charging him so much, and by the time he even gets the money, he has not even worked or he has not even gotten any profit. So my argument is, he is saying that if there was an app for them, particularly as an association in Bushenyi, those farmers,
These brokers.
it would replace. And that is a benefit, not only to that person, but to his family, to the society where he lives, and ultimately to the nation. However, we must also be realistic when we are introducing this. Look at a scenario where a colleague who stays in places like Yamoyenga and various others, who has been having an askari, who has been working at the gate and earning 150,000 a month. And it is from this money that he earns that he manages to pay for his or her children, let us say. So that means if we are to replace artificial intelligence and get to sense that the boss has come back, that means we are going now to put off this guy. Artificial intelligence is going to manage all the systems from the door to the bed of this boss. However, I want us to look at these risks in just a few minutes. First, we look at the aspects of, I will categorize them as the employment space or the employment field. Let us look at consultancy. You know, very many of the courses that pass out students to the field today, most of those students do not easily get employed. However, they now have to enter into the consultancy business. We have human resource consultants, we have legal consultants, we have economic consultants. So if we have artificial intelligence in place, it is a good thing that you mentioned about the chat GPT. It is all over. Who is going to ask you about how returns are filed, how a company is registered? Who is going to ask you how, for example, employees must conduct themselves ethically at workplace? So all these things, with the invention and even the introduction of the artificial intelligence, we are going now to wash away all these consultancy firms, because people will not have to toil so much to come to a consultancy. So that is one of the risks. The jobs, I think much of the corporate personnel are so much comfortable when it comes to the discussions of artificial intelligence because it helps them. But little do they know that artificial intelligence is also getting to them in such scenarios. Then we also have a recent example in Europe where an artificial intelligence robot was used to argue a case, and it successfully argued the matter. So where does this leave us? Because my good brother Ekodoe stated that there are things that artificial intelligence cannot do, or even a robot cannot do, that are expected of a human being. But we are now to the extremes where artificial intelligence can undertake tasks which we expected only human beings to do. There was an example of carpentry. Those are even simple things that we shouldn't even adjudge to an artificial intelligence mechanism to do. They can simply do that.
If it can be employed in reproduction, why not carpentry?
Thank you. So when we are arguing the aspect of artificial intelligence, and particularly when it comes to risks, artificial intelligence currently is at the extremes that it can do anything that a human being can do, unless they are. I think it was yesterday they issued out from the website of I think the people that are behind ChatGPT, that ChatGPT was put to the test to do all these other, for example, fields, the history, what, and it passed. But the tests that it didn't pass were the tests of accounting and taxation. And it got, I think, 47. You will have to find out 47%. Now, given that the risks are here, we must also change our goalposts as Ugandans. Now that ChatGPT is occupying the workplace, we must also change our thinking, the mindset on how we handle issues. For example, today, if ChatGPT has so managed to at least eat up the consultancy jobs and the employment roles, now let us now go to those fields where ChatGPT may not be easy for it to
attack.
To of course, have solutions too. But if we are static and with the advent of artificial intelligence, you remain in your comfort zone, it will not help us, but rather we shall lose out. Now, the other risk that we can consider, we still have the risk of adapting. You know, the argument that Brother Fred has brought out was on the issue of systems being manipulated,
and systems failure.
And yes, it is also a threat and a risk to all of us who are thinking that we should start adapting to artificial intelligence. You know, very many people trust so much artificial intelligence because they think it is working on their commands. However, those that have undertaken, for example, IT courses and various others, can easily manipulate these systems. Take an example. One of I think the best security systems, that is of the government. If it has been hacked by, let us say, a good computer hacker in the state, in such scenarios, who is answerable to that? Those are some of the risks that we must. So as we must also note what limits are we trying to work with the artificial intelligence, and to what extent are we harmonizing with artificial intelligence. Then the other aspect that we can consider as much as the risk is concerned, let us look at the concept of service delivery. You know, literally, when we look at the safe border, the safe border apps, we look at the Uber and various others that have come up. You have aptly stated that when you request for such a ride and such a person, for example, finds you at any place that you are located in, it is easy and it makes it easier for you to access such a service. But now, in the long run, let us look at people who cannot easily, of course, abide with such service provision mechanisms. Today, the companies that have registered to undertake that role of, for example, transporting people, are a few of them, of which even those that have undertaken to do that require someone who has at least some recognizable level of education to adapt to this. So that means we look at scenarios where someone is going to be brought to book, is a service provider under a given company that of course provides transport services, and of course we shall have messes here and there because of the inadequacies in appreciating the use of artificial intelligence. So maybe if you have any other question.
Okay, thank you so much. That was quite comprehensive, Abdul. Let me get back to Abel as we also move towards the end of the talk show. So several risks have come out from Fred and as well as Abdul. My question is, how do we now strike a balance?
One, it's I'm not going to mention that it's sad, but I want to say that artificial intelligence, the perspective my two brothers that they're taking this system, it's as if, one, it's a system that has come to do all things through, as the argument they were presenting. As we started, I said, this is a system that literally mimics the human intelligence. That said, it is a gradual process for it to adapt. And what is in the AI system, my brothers and sisters here? It is data. It is information to bring it in your... But for us in computer science, when you say data, which means it is too raw, but it will be processed to its complete state. As I was trying to discuss with my brother, appreciating his background of study, I tried to appreciate the algorithms that are embedded in AI. And I brought them in the most simplest manner, that they are a step-by-step driven processes to approach a problem and find the most suitable solution to that problem. There are various solutions, but most suitable. We should not forget, let's not drive this discussion with a lot of notion of saying, I think this is after me, this is after the other one. AI, it has not come purely to erase these people from the job market. Like I said, the economists, unfortunately we don't have economists here, will tell you that it is not human capital that drives the economy or the GDP of the country. It is the production and the supply demand, the demand that is met by the supply. I'm not an economist, but they'll tell you, if we had the bigger number of people, then the question is, do we realize the efficiency? Now, there are two technical things that science has come to approach here. Science has come to approach efficiency. Science has come to, one, appreciate that there must be high production within the country so that the economy is realized. Now, the economists will be able to argue that what drives the economy of the country? Is it the human capital that is employed, or it is the production? Now, if it is the production, that is what AI is looking at. Perhaps the question would be, these people that are a little bit reduced, for instance, if you are in consultancy, what do you have to do? I think I appreciate the president of Uganda. He has always stood, President Museveni, he has always stood to say that we should have innovators. And innovation hubs have been created. Whether you're a law student, whether you're a counselor, whether you're what, as long as you appreciate innovation, you should take up a role of technical approach of everything. Let's stop. Once we stop having a syndrome of saying, and I would say, because I've always asked, and I mean not to be offensive to any specialty, whichever person, whether you're a computer scientist, you're a software engineer, you're a lawyer, you are a counselor, you must innovate in your field. What is that new thing, like my brother brought up? What is that new thing that I can offer vis-a-vis to AI? If AI has brought up the information, for instance, that I would be giving a service to people who are traumatized. Now this person is able to access this service from this point. How do I strike a balance and fit in the market? I want also to say this. As far as our education is concerned, we are among the countries that never grappled in the education. We swiftly jumped onto the established systems of AI, of education. We jumped on them. We swung and we jumped on them. That's why people were able to finish their degrees even when COVID was there. Imagine a situation that AI, we did not have the education management systems that are enhanced, quote me well, and I use my word carefully, that are enhanced with the AI. Would we have the monitoring management systems at play? We would not be having. I appreciate the universities that have done the exams online, but do you want to tell me that people were cheating? They were monitoring systems, but all this is embedded into AI. I want to tell you all this. And all this argument, it might not end because you come from a different background of study. I come from a different background of study as well. But my role here, I want as much as possible to approach the topic of today, of the benefits of AI, and perhaps the negative, and how do we deal with the negative. The solutions have been given by my friend. So as far as Uganda is concerned, I think the president was too wise to believe that if AI is coming, these students who are going to be doing Hague, history, doing all these combinations, why don't we start replacing a new syllabus that is approaching a student? What can you do? The only challenge we are having in Uganda, very many graduates are not answering a question of what can you do? If you ask that question, I would give ourselves a chance here. Let's move out, as you move out from this place, go ask 10 graduates, different fields, what can you do? If you find 6 out of the question would be that I can do this technically, perhaps will be placed very well.
Okay, Abel, we have run out of time. I'll give the other two panelists 2 minutes each to conclude on how do we strike a balance between the risk and the benefits of AI.
Okay, thank you, Madam Gender Fancy. As I said earlier, and I won't divert from what I said, Abe is far away from reality, and on his point of view is always on the technical bit, looking at things as a computer scientist and as an innovator. Well, Uganda doesn't have that much innovators, even though more are sprouting up and being trained. And it is on a sad note that while we're still undergoing poverty and human rights violations, we can think of a corrupt government to uplift innovation vis-a-vis implementation of AI. And I believe with the implementation of AI to our illiterate class, that is majority currently, we are going to be massively cheated like never before. If they could steal tangible iron sheets, how will they be unable to steal cash on accounts of URA and other billing institutions? How do we strike a balance between AI and the reality that is the tangible labor force or human resource? First and foremost, the education system previously has been favoring job seekers, not creators. So I think we need to handle and enhance and also improve and amend the education system. Two, the way we look at things, the mentality of citizens vis-a-vis the elite class. That as we are going on to the other side of embracing AI, what are the systems put in place in order to teach people, sensitize them on the benefits vis-a-vis the demerits of AI? Other than that, I think I'm divergent from his thinking that AI cannot do anything. AI will do anything, and with time, trust me, Magala will be home and the robot will be arguing a case. Trust me, with time, you will not be able to compete with the system in coding, because I don't think you can code faster than is it AI GPT?
It doesn't code.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Okay.
It codes, brother, and more systems are coming up. And trust me, you well said they mimic, but with mimicking they enhance. They efficiently do. It will definitely see a bug before you even notice as a human. Therefore, I think I personally, I have a right and I have a reason to be fearful of what is coming in the next 10 years. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Abdul, you have a minute to create that balance.
I'm scared I may not even use a minute. I'll use 30 seconds to conclude this discussion. In my opinion, I will argue first in the legal perspective that we have the doctrine of election. If you decide to undertake something, or you give an example, if you decide to take a woman, accept her good and bad traits. So if we decide to incorporate AI in our systems and mechanisms, let us accept. Let us not go to one side, because there is danger in a single side story that it is only good. Let us have both the good and bad and choose what is best for us. And finally, I will have to say this to government, because I know Civic Space TV is one of the platforms that people watch so much. To government, there must be policies that must be done in order to regulate the use of AI for its, because government is our representative. So there must be policies, unless otherwise, but I will consider that there must be something done. Researchers must be, of course, funded. NGOs that, of course, into AI and that can provide information that government can, of course, rely on, must be, of course, facilitated, and various other entities and institutions. Thank you so much. And I'm really glad to be part of this today.
Okay, thank you so much. We have come to the end of our talk show for today. Thank you to the panelists, Abel. Thank you so much, Fred and Abdul, for gracing our invitation and giving a very, very intellectual discussion to this. Abel, we are out of time. So, as you've seen, this discussion does not end here. We can continue with this discussion elsewhere in the studio after the cameras have gone off. This discussion can continue. So thank you so much to our viewers for watching. Thank you so much, Center for Constitutional Governance and Civic Space TV, for organizing this platform where students are able to discuss these issues that are very pertinent, especially in Uganda as a country. See you again next week, same time.